posted up on Canvas. So we'll get to see that. If you missed this or if you want to see some of the information, you can always go back and watch it. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen because the first thing I would like to talk about as a group is we're going to talk about some norms. There we go. So hopefully we can all see this. We made some meeting norms, and we'll add to this as needed. But for the first part, advisors, thank you all for using the cameras on behalf of your advisories. Students who are virtual, thank you guys all for coming in. Glad that everyone can be here. We're going to make a lot of announcements during this meeting shortly after this. And probably do one other thing at the end that's not an announcement, but hopefully you're all listening respectfully and paying attention to what is relevant to you. If something comes up that piques your attention, just keep it inside. Let's not have any of these side conversations. And when we're having these grade level meetings, most of the time they are not going to take the whole time, and you should have a little time to spend with your advisory or a little study hall time. So while we're having our meetings, please don't do any other schoolwork or things like that that could distract you. If you have any questions, you can type them in the chat, which I will pull open in a second. And you can also use the raise hand feature. And for people in our advisories, please just ask your advisor if you have a question, and they can type it in the chat. So can anyone think of any other norms that would be worth including on this list? Put that in the chat. Everybody. Any other norms we want to add? Okay. Well, we can continue that conversation as advisors, but if any students do think of anything that would be necessary, let us know. So what we're going to do today is we have some reminders, and I'm going to be making those. And then at the end, assuming we have some time, I have just a couple trivia questions we'll go over. But first, I think we're going to let Ms. Brown start, if she's okay with that, with some announcements about how things are going. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen now.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. I hope that y'all can hear me. I am also completely alone in my office with the door shut, so I'm going to take my mask off so you can hear me, I hope, a little bit better. Woo. So truly, the first thing we really wanted to do is compliment the 7th grade. Just so many new things and so much to learn. And you all, we've noticed, have been doing really a spectacular job with kind of the new rules that we know you're getting used to. So things like hanging your lanyard outside the bathroom to show that you are using the restroom and to keep yourself and everyone else safe is awesome. We generally have seen everyone following the arrows. We know that that feels inconvenient sometimes, but we're so happy that you recognize that that's an important thing that we put into place to keep one another safe. Carpool, both drop off in the morning and even in the afternoon, has just been going much, much better every day. And a lot of that is in part is because you're making good choices and hurrying to do the right things and get to your cars and out of your cars safely. So we just are really, really grateful. A couple of things we did want to remind you about, and these are really community commitments. So you really need to take a second and think, am I someone who has been and is going to continue to follow rules, or do I have questions about them, or can I make some adjustments? So as you're listening, you can sort of be evaluating how you yourself have been doing with these things. But one is dress code. We've been giving everybody a little bit of leeway these first couple of days just because there has been so much new. But we are going to start needing to say something to you if you are not abiding by the dress code. And we don't want you to be surprised by those conversations. So a few things to take note of. You need to follow, if you read the handbook, it says a sense of decorum. The minimum length for skirts, dresses, and shorts is mid-thigh. So your shorts don't have to come all the way down to your knee, but if you're wearing shorts that are really just very short, you might need to reevaluate that in the morning when you're getting dressed. So your shorts really do need to come to mid thigh. And if you have questions about that, you can see Mr. Anish or me, or you can ask your advisor about it. You cannot roll up your shorts so that they become too short. So please make sure you don't do that. Your shirts and your tops cannot have any derogatory or distracting or indecent wording or images. Of particular relevance may be remembering that your shirts need to cover your shoulders, your midriff, so your belly, and your chest and your back have to be covered as well. So just consider that when you're choosing your outfits. We know you will. Shorts and pants, and this may be sort of new news to some of you, so you may want to concentrate particularly hard on this part, but you are allowed to wear Ravenscroft shorts, athletic shorts, as long as they come to mid-thigh. So they do sell some things in the Raven Zone that would not be appropriate shorts for the school day, even though they have Ravenscroft logos. They still need to come to mid-thigh, and they should have a Ravenscroft logo on them. Or you can buy outside of school dark green gym shorts, and those are allowed as well. Again, they do need to come to mid-thigh, but any other gym mesh shorts or spandex or like Nike athletic shorts, those are not appropriate for school. So again, if you have any questions, just let us know. Cell phones should be in your backpack from 8 o'clock in the morning till the end of the school day. So you should keep them turned off. They should not be a disruption to you or to your teachers, or at least on silent. If you're checking your schedule on your phone, you really need to make use of that paper copy that we gave you. Being on your phone to check your schedule is actually not something that you should be doing. So if you need a new copy, just let us know. We're happy to help you with that. Perhaps the most important thing of all of this is our attempts to keep you safe and one another safe. So again, a community commitment to follow the rules. You really do need to take seriously when we tell you to give one another some distance. Those airplane wings or those raven wings, you know, we're trying to be kind when we communicate that message to you, but it is not a choice. It is a rule. If you care about your friends and your teachers and yourself, you really need to abide by that. So when you're asked to distance, when you're reminded to distance, please take that seriously and don't make us ask several times. Really, we shouldn't have to remind you at all at this point, but certainly if you are reminded, please be respectful in your response. This is about safety. You may notice in your classrooms that different teachers may take different approaches to how they're using the space in the classroom. Many of your teachers may be choosing to stay at the front of the room at their desk. That is completely fine. It is also fine for teachers to move around the room as long as they are aware of their distance. And we are, even in doing that, being very vigilant. We are keeping safety in mind, and we are following all CDC guidelines. You should not see teachers very close to you. You also should not find teachers within 6 feet of you for more than 15 minutes, which is part of the CDC guidelines. If you have a concern, if you're worried, if you have a question, you should definitely let one of us know, or your advisor know, that you have something that you'd like to talk about. 7th and 8th graders, as I think you know by now, are released for sports, for athletic practices at 3:15. So you do need to stay in your advisory until you're dismissed at 3:15, and you will not be dismissed earlier than that. Big thank you for holding the door for particularly 6th graders and new students who do not yet have key cards. That's very kind and helpful that you're doing that, and we really appreciate that. Last but not least, I want to share something very new with you that I don't think any of you have heard, and you may want to discuss this in your advisories, and then I'll finish up. But we have noticed that it's been difficult for some of you to find enough time between classes to have that very important snack. We really want you to be able to fuel your body so that you have enough energy to really work hard in your classes until lunchtime. So each day, at the period that, and Mr. Hutchings, please correct me because I don't have the schedule in front of me, but the period that has passing time from 10:20 to 10:25. So whatever class you happen to have that dismisses at 10:20, we want you to know that you have a few extra minutes if you would like to have a snack, to do that without rushing to your next period. So if you are not choosing to have a snack at 10:20, go ahead and head to your next class. If you would like to find a safe space on a dot outside, take off your mask and have that snack, that is an appropriate time to do that. And your teachers know that for people who may be choosing to have a snack, you may be a minute or two late to class, and you will not be marked tardy for that. Again, and I really want to say this is not a reason to be late to class. This is just if you need that extra moment for your snack, we want to make sure you have time for that. Other than that, I think that's all the information I needed to throw at you, and just really thank you. You've all been doing a really wonderful job. So stop by if you have questions, let us know, put them in the chat, and I'll see you a little later.
Thank you. Just to clarify that, it's between the second and third class. So the second class of the day, you would leave, go get your snack, and head into the third class. If you're a few minutes late, that's okay. Get that snack, get to class. It's gonna be great. So the small announcements that I have to do with, one, we did get a suggestion about norms, and thank you to the Lightfoot Advisory. Woo. They shared an idea that I think is great, which is when we have time to ask questions, please only ask questions that are, related to the topic that we're talking about. Stay on topic. So I added that to our list, and we can add more later if anyone comes up with them. Additionally, last week you heard about elections. We have the first elections coming up in the next few weeks are for middle school co-presidents. And that one is going to be, the 4 people running are all in 8th grade. But if you know them or see them around, you can wish them luck. So our candidates for middle school co-presidents are Bryce Augusti, Austin Green, Brooks Leba, and Ethan Silverman. They're going to start hanging up some posters in the next week or so. You can look for those around and, inform yourselves about how you would like to vote. Later, we will also have elections for 7th grade co-presidents. I have no news about that right now, other than to say that is a thing that is happening and it's on the horizon. So if that's something you're interested in, start thinking about, if that's something you'd like to do and maybe how you would best present yourself for that. But there will be plenty of announcements about that before the time comes to run and vote. We also wanted to talk about lunch and recess. So with our new recess, we've got a lot of people in different areas. And when we switch, a lot of the people that are eating lunch in an area are going to the recess area, and the people having recess are moving up to a lunch area. So what we want to ask is, if you know where my classroom is, it's 8H. I'm on the outside of the building, kind of on the back of the parking lot near Miss Nagel and Miss Gerard. That little wall where we're saying you have to be on the bottom side of the wall where the roses are for recess, for lunch you have to be up above. So those nice little alcoves where you can sit down, those are there for recess. Unfortunately, they're not there for lunch. And the same is going to be true for the 8th graders who are eating lunch. We're going to ask them to be up above during lunchtime, and they can be down there for recess. This is going to help just so that your advisors know where you are, and also so that we can help keep everybody safe and spread during lunchtime. So the 8th graders have that recess space if they want to sit down, and we have the lunch space up top during that time, and vice versa when it's switched. The last announcement that I had was the sports closet. So I know sports have started, and we just want to remind everybody, when you're putting your bags in there and getting them out at the end of the day, that is a very small space. There are 30 minutes from when you are released from advisories until you have to be out at practice. Practices start at 3:45. I know as a coach, there's a lot of procedures and protocols for all the sports about getting changed and everything. But one of them, that's sort of the middle school one, is one person in that closet. So just keep your space when you're going in there to get your bags out at the end of the day, and get over to where you're going after that. All right, those were all the announcements that I had on my end. So what I would like to try, and we'll see how this goes, is some advisory trivia. I've written some trivia questions, and I will read them out. I'll repeat them a few times. And what I'm going to do is have a little timer right here. And what we'll do with the timer is I'll ask a question. Advisories, since you're all muted, you have some time to talk amongst yourselves to try and figure out the answer. These are not multiple choice questions. And then for the advisors, if you go into the chat, you just have to find me, send chat to David Hutchins. So it will privately just come to me and not all the other advisors, so we don't give away any answers. And if the advisory, before or when the timer goes off, if you can send in your answer, we'll see who does well. For our virtual students, the same idea. If you go into the chat and you just find your advisor's name, you can send any ideas or guesses you have to your advisor without alerting everybody else that you know the answer. Advisors, are we ready? I know I can only see myself on some of the owls, but all right, we got it ready. Thank you. So send the messages just to me. I'm gonna say, at least to start with, we'll do a minute per question, because some of these it might be or you don't know, but I want to give everybody some time to figure it out. Okay, first question. Yes, we do not have much time. There's only 6 questions. First question, after whom is the month of August named? After whom is the month of August named? August comes from a person's name. Who is that person? Oh. So if you're going to write it, make sure you send it privately to your advisor. Okay. Also, as we go, so I just realized I'm going to ask advisors, please keep track of your own points, because I just realized with the chat that's going to be really hard for me as quickly as it's moving. Okay. The correct answer is Augustus Caesar, or Augustus the Emperor. Good job, seemingly everybody who answered. Augustus Caesar was the correct answer. Question 2. This one is a little bit more on the geography side of things. What is the only letter of the alphabet that does not appear in the name of a U.S. state? I'm going to shorten the time a little bit. What is the only letter that does not appear in the name of a U.S. state? Sorry for the beeps. The only letter that does not appear in the name of a U.S. state. Variety of answers. Five seconds. Get those answers in. All right. Good job to a lot of the advisors. The correct answer is Q. There is no Q in any U.S. state. Bonus question. This one goes, the point goes to the first advisory that can get this one. There was a couple answers of the letter Z. Z is actually in a state. First group to say which state has the Z gets a point. All right. Way to go, Nelson Advisory. Nelson Advisory. Congratulations. It is Arizona has the Z. All right. Question number 3. Question number 3. Which company owns Xbox? What is the name of the company that owns and creates Xbox? All right, that one might have been too easy. That surprised me. All right, way to go, everybody. The answer is Microsoft. Everybody got that one very quickly. I might be the only person who apparently didn't know that. All right, the next one. Who invented the telephone? What is the name of the individual who invented the telephone? Some different spellings. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, the correct answer. Sorry, last chance. Get your answers in if you have not yet. All right, Alexander Graham Bell, congratulations. Count up your points. We'll find out who won at our next meeting. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. Thank you.